Hello everyone, I am Shashank and today I would be giving you a demo of RaaS service. So RaaS stands for Replication or Renewal as a Service. So if you don't know, in Filecoin deals are of limited time. At minimum they could be of 180 days and at max of around 3.5 years. So this service would allow you to renew your deal automatically as soon as it is going to expire. Also, this also allows you to replicate your deal with multiple miners, which would enable the complete decentralization of your files that you are uploading into Filecoin. Also, a repair service. So, what repair does is like, let's say a miner falls on the sector in which your file was there. So, it would allow you to remake the deal of that file as soon as miner is faulting or he is not giving the post proof, etc. So yeah, so as to work with it, first of all, you would have to clone the repo along with some modules. So I already have done that. So in the repo, you would find the deal status contract. So this is the main contract that takes in the files that to be uploaded for the RaaS job. So this is the important function called submit RaaS. What this takes is a CID. So currently our RaaS service works with Lighthouse as an aggregator. So Lighthouse would need you to pin your CID to IPFS so that they can download it so as to make the deal. So after pinning into IPFS, you would get the CID, and through that CID, you can put in the replication target, replication threshold, renew threshold, etc. so as to make the deal. Yeah. So so this function would have to be called so as to start the RaaS service for your file. So importantly, first of all, after cloning the repo, you would have to download a node modules. For that, you would have to run yarn install, which I already have done. And the next thing comes is like setting up your ENV. So first of all, you would have to put in the private key, which would be having funds so as to make the smart contract calls. Then your Lighthouse API key, because we are using Lighthouse as an aggregator, you would need that API key so as to run the backend, so as to store files, etc. The miner, so currently in calibration testnet, this is the active miner, so you can set it to any miner that you want. Calibration is the network deal status address. So you would have to deploy the deal status contract, and you would just have to run yarn hard hat compile and yarn hard hat deploy. So I have already compiled. I have already compiled the contract. So I would run deploy hard hat deploy. So this would deploy the contract with the account that you would put in here as a private key, and that address that you would get after the contract is deployed should be put here, so as to make all the contact calls and so as to listen the events, etc. After that, these are the Lighthouse endpoint that we would be using, so you would not have to test it. So this is the deal info endpoint that would return that whether deal has been made for your CID. This is the pinning endpoint that would enable your files to be pinned on Lighthouse. Next thing comes is this Lotus RPC URL. So currently we are using calibration node of provided by the Glyph. Shoot out to them. And so for mainnet also you can put this URL, activate this URL if you are working on mainnet. And the most important thing, do not put the private key of the account that has funds, because that you may accidentally push it and then all your funds would be gone. So you must be careful with that. Yeah, so I have already deployed the deal status contract, and soon it would be getting deployed as well. So a backend is run called that you could find in the event listener contract. So what basically happens is like, so yeah, so you here the contract is deployed and you can paste it on the your email. I have already done that. So as to run the backend, you would have to run the command yarn service. So this would start the backend, and your backend would start listening to the already made RaaS request through that contract. Now you can you can upload a file through RaaS. Let's say I upload uh, this file. Yeah. Yeah, so this is the contract that I deployed. So this is I have made a task so as to call a submit RaaS function with a particular CID. So what this would allow you is to submit call the submit RaaS function with the contract that you have deployed. You can change it to the contract that you would be deploying. So I have deployed this one. Then the PCID, the CID that has been pinned to IPFS, and the number of replications. So here is the task. Currently, it just takes the replication as a parameter, and the renewal and repair epochs have been hard coded. So this is where you could work. You could automate this process with different renewal and repair epochs. So as soon as I would run this function, so the event would be emitted as soon as the transaction would pass in about a minute, and our backend would listen to that event. So as soon as the event is listened, what backend does is like it stores that file in a stores that CID in a file called Lighthouse aggregator state. So we would wait for event to come, and after that after that a Lighthouse would take some time. I think it takes around 1 day at max. So in 1 day Lighthouse would make deal for your file, and after the deal is made, you can easily that deal would be saved in this file called dealstate.json. Yeah, so this would be how your deal state file would be looking. So first of all, as you can see, this Lighthouse aggregator state file is empty, and as soon as our event would be emitted, as soon as the transaction would complete, so our node would listen to the event, and it would populate this file with the CID of that that has been emitted in the event. And after that, if we would so we have got the event with transaction ID 5, and yeah, so here as you can see that same CID has been put here. So after putting the CID after in regular intervals, which is currently set to 10 seconds, so it would be calling the Lighthouse function, Lighthouse, so as to check whether the deal has been made or not. So currently no deal has been found for this CID. So I already made a transaction with a particular CID yesterday. So for that, deal has been made, and after that deal would be made, the info would be cleared from this file, and the deal info would be stored here along with the CIDs in that deal ID. So this would be how replication thing was. So currently replication was set to 2. So Lighthouse would be making 2 deals. Currently in testnet there is just one miner, so it would be making multiple deals with the same miner. In mainnet there are multiple miners, so you can make multiple deals with multiple miners. And as soon as we would get the deal, that would be stored here. And now what the cron job does is like it would regularly check if the deal is getting expired or not, and that has been done with the help of Lotus API. So what is this the glyph endpoint of calibration, we can get the information of the deal, and by that we could check like after getting the response from Lighthouse, here there would be the expiration epoch. So this would be the epoch when the deal would get expired, and by checking on chain position of the deal with this method through the glyph endpoint, we can directly check like if current, and also there is one more function to get the current block number. We would compare if the expiration epoch and block number is are quite near, and that is where the renewal epoch comes into the picture. So as you can see, currently it was hard coded to 1000 renewal epochs. You can set it to so this is where you could work in this hackathon. You can set it to customize this value for the for users, so that they can set a customizable renewal epochs. What this basically does is like if the deal is going to expire before 1000 epochs, it would remake the deal. So that is how the renewal works. Similarly, in repair would work like it would query the glyph endpoint, and then it would see if the deal has been slashed for the miner, and it would remake the deal. Yeah, so one more thing, you can also interact with this backend through REST APIs. So here are the few endpoints that you could call. For example, this register job registers the RaaS job when sent with appropriate parameters. Upload file uploads the file to Lighthouse, and API.deal status gets you the deal status. So a demo for it has also been deployed in the current repo only, and for that you would have to compile the webpack and run yarn start. What this would do is like this would run a front end for a demo front end. So the demo front end would look like this, and you can choose any file that you want to upload. Let's say I choose this file. It's a small file, and when I click on upload, that file would be uploaded to through Lighthouse to IPFS, and we would be getting a CID soon. Yeah, so we have got the CID here. So this would be the CID of the file that you have uploaded, and when you can copy this, and you can so this function, what this does is like it registers that CID for the RaaS job, and when you click on deploy, so the job is being registered, and the status has been changed to waiting for DD status. So as the job was registered, here you can see, yeah, executing the delegation for job with CID that we have put there. So what happens here is like that CID has been uploaded to Lighthouse, and the smart contract function has been called with that CID. So in a short time, an event would be emitted, and the whole flow remains the same. And scope of improvement here as well is like when you would be running it from your own backend, you can your own front end, you can omit this smart contract call from backend, and as you could directly integrate with it with your DApp by putting the file on Lighthouse and directly querying or directly running all the queries. So a potential improvement here as well. So this is how this your own RaaS. So yeah, we have received the event, and a new CID also has been registered. So before it was checking for one, now it would be checking for two as well. Yeah. So this is how you could configure your own RaaS. The only endpoints where it checks for, as I said, for Lighthouse is like this upload file, where it calls this upload file and make deal with that CID, and then it calls that get proof. It calls that endpoint as stated on that env.example. Yeah, this deal info endpoint, and here it could get the info of the deal that has been made. You can run your own IPFS, or you can choose any other aggregator, be it Edge, etc., and change these endpoints so as to configure the RaaS on your own. Moreover, the same RaaS service has, so let me first stop these nodes, making my PC slow. Yeah, so these nodes have been stopped. Yeah, so similar to this, Lighthouse have also deployed its own RaaS service along integrated with its deal engine, and info about that you could find easily on their docs. So yeah, I have stopped the service. So this is these are the Lighthouse docs, and Lighthouse have deployed these RaaS contract both on testnet and mainnet, and these addresses can be found on readme as well as here. So these are the mainnet and testnet address. These are verified addresses. For example, if I click on this calibration one, so it would take me to the verified address on the calibration network, and from there also I could directly call these functions. So let's say I want to write contract, so this get active deals, get expiring deals, submit RaaS. So I can call it from here as well. Moreover, there is one difference between the deal status and Lighthouse deployed contact, that is the max replication. So Lighthouse would have limited the max replication so that people does not put like 10 or 12 or 20 replication, because they know currently the miner is only one in testnet, and in mainnet also they have limited amounts of miners. So this complete function is the one that I have not talked about. So what happens basically is this complete function is called by Lighthouse. So what happens, like as soon as it listens to the event, the Lighthouse node, it goes through all of its deal making flow, and after the deal is made, it calls the complete function. What this complete function does is like uh, it uploads inclusion proof as well as the port size proof of the deal, and after the port size proof has been uploaded, so there are functions here in data segment. What they do is like they would check compute the compy from the proof uploaded by the aggregator, and then they would match the compy from the deal ID that has been made on chain through our through Filecoin Solidity library. What this does is like if aggregator has taken your file and it has not uploaded and claimed that he has uploaded, the pot size would not match, and the deal would not be successful. But the only thing is like is that Lighthouse currently this happens on Lighthouse, as Lighthouse runs this complete function. You also, when you would be running your own node, you would be calling this complete functions as soon as you would be getting the deals from Lighthouse. After that, the only thing is Lighthouse does not call this complete function on mainnet, but it's completely working on testnet, and mainnet also Lighthouse would be making it live soon. After that, yeah, so this is how basically everything works. Moreover, you can get if you want any other flow, understand any other things, it has been briefly done in readme, so that what is repair, how to monetize smart contracts, API usage, etc. So everything is there in readme. So yeah, so we have also put some ideas in README that you could potentially work using this RaaS service. As I stated, that every file get replicated with different miner. Currently in testnet we have one miner, so this is limited. But you can configure it like it checks through the glyph endpoints, like how, where does the miner where are the miners operating through off-chain data, and then it could decentralize your files through putting it to the miners at different locations. This is a potential idea that you could work on. Second thing is setting up on-chain payments on RaaS. So this is a thing that we at Lighthouse are also working. You could also set up an on-chain payment. So currently it does not take any payment so as to make deal, but so that is the reason why it is not, the complete function has not been called on mainnet, but it is has been done on testnet only. You could configure a payable, make the submit and submit RaaS functions payable, and make an on-chain payment flow so that the aggregator as well as miners both are getting benefited as soon as deal is getting made. So this is a potential idea. Also, you could come with innovative implementation of RaaS so that both data providers, miners, aggregators gets paid. Also, you could potentially put some slashing mechanism. Let's say a aggregator does the becomes the bad actor and it stops uploading your files. So he slashed. He has to stake some amount. So you could develop a whole market around it. You could also build your data DAO on this RaaS service, like a DAO handling of which files is going to be uploaded or not. So there are many use cases here. Many use cases here that you could build on. Yeah, so this was all. Any more doubts you could ask in Filecoin Slack, elsewhere. And so yeah, so we would look forward to some great projects being built on this RaaS service. Thank you.